Hi. There's people in the United States worried about what I might fucking say. So I'm banned, you know. You know, you know what banned is? They can do something with your phone. Everybody knows, you know, except me. They can do something with the phone, make your comments disappear and everything like this, you know. Now, we were under the impression that YouTube was supposed to be something for kids to play with. Is that it? You know? And there were all these nice little podcasts where people were saying, you know, silly shit forever. And now there's no silly shit podcasts on YouTube anymore, but it might be that YouTube was always a social engineering device. I mean, that was the original plan. You know, might be. Do you think the government is too stupid to come up with that? You know? Like they couldn't get the fucking idea, oh, you know what we'll do? We'll put up this toy on the internet in the early days and we'll let everybody get on it and they'll just think, people will just think it's this little thing. But later, we'll control the comments and everything. I mean, comments are bullshit at this point, you know. If I posted something, I'd turn the fucking comments off. If you got something to say, you can say it. And you turn the comments off. You don't want to hear these Hallmark card sympathies. Oh, God bless you. Lady, be quiet with that. I don't need you to God bless me. Yeah. So this world that we live in, and you know, poverty level now is like $12,000 on your tax return. How did that happen? You know, why couldn't they do this before? It's what I baffles me. Why couldn't they do this before? What's changed? You know, where are they getting all this fucking money? You know, where are they getting this money to pay 17 intelligence agencies? Well, they're crying about entitlements, and you're doling out money to cover 17 intelligence agencies, and they got to find things for these intelligence agencies to do. You know, they're complaining about the border. Don't worry, you got 17 intelligence agencies. They'll cover it. They can cover anything, you know. Russia had one, KGB. Feels like we're under the fucking KGB now in the United States, you know. That's it. Do you get that? Do you remember this movie, Wag the Dog? With Dustin Hoffman and Anne Hesh, who got disappeared. The premise at the end of Wag the Dog was that the government is real smart, so you know what they do? They hire a screenwriter to write a fake news story. And at the end of the movie, the screenwriter decides that he doesn't want they're going to give him an ambassadorship. And the screenwriter decides, oh, I don't want the ambassadorship now. This is fucking huge. I want the credit. It's Dustin Hoffman. So when he decides he wants the credit, all of a sudden limousines, you know, De Niro is the Fed who's in contact with him. And then Anne Hesh has the famous line, the wonderful line where she says to Dustin Hoffman when the plane crashes, "What are you gonna do now, liberal fuck?" I, I, I love that line. Do you know there was this real famous big monopoly on videotapes? It used to be, was it called Blockbuster? Do you know what movie they wouldn't carry? They never had it on the shelf in Blockbuster. Wag the Dog. Wag the Dog was the first banned item. You know, Wag the Dog. That means, Frankensteining the event backwards. The dog, the tail is wagging the dog. The dog isn't wagging the tail is wagging the dog. That's what I mean, yeah? No, where'd they get all the fucking money to do all this, the internet shit? Pay people $15 an hour? Seems like it came out of nowhere. Who's this fucking guy? Affshin Rattansi. You know what? I had to look that name up finally and make myself look at it. I couldn't believe how you can never remember his name. What the fuck is this guy's name? He's that very interesting newscaster who really talks like a newscaster and not a model, that got hired as an anchor woman. Guess what? Affshin Rattansi sounds exactly like somebody. I mean, why do I want to tell you that? Who cares, right? Affshin Rattansi is the only news personality that resembles what the fuck a newsman is supposed to resemble. He gives Murdoch the finger every show. You mention Murdoch and he discounts it. Oh, that's Murdoch. What was Murdoch? Sky News was Murdoch. What did Murdoch do? Murdoch suppressed something as big as the BP disaster. The disaster that happened off the coast of Indonesia and wiped out seaweed farmers. They completely refused to. Can you imagine that? The Australian news, the huge Australian news service in the world, refuses to cover a disaster. You couldn't find it in the papers. It appeared on New York Times on page 8 one day. Anyway, the point about this Affshin Rattansi guy that I want to get at is, where are they getting these narrators? Where are they getting the voice choices from the narrators? I mean, is a corporation making that? Or is a corporation in touch with the government making these narrators? There's people who put up podcasts and their voices are so uninteresting, it's so annoying, or they do something really annoying, So I can understand why they want to have an electronic narrator and stuff, but who's doing it? Who's responsible for this? So Affshin Rattansi, he's been banned. But now he's reappeared and says, we come from the Arab Emirates now. Now, the only newsman on earth. What the fuck do these Intel State people want? You got every goddamn electronic toy in the world, and you can't let us have a decent news service? Fuck you. Affshin Rattansi, now on the show that's coming from the Arab Emirates, supposedly. You know who comes? There's offshore enterprises. What else is an offshore enterprises? Nema, who is an AI puppet. Those presenters, the guests he has, are very content to talk to an AI puppet. How does that go? Okay, we're going to have you on the show now. You're not talking to a person, you're talking to an AI puppet. So we don't want you to drop the ball. Okay? So let's practice, okay? We're going to have to practice, and you have to answer this puppet, okay? We want you to see, we want you to put it over like you can't tell, okay? So, okay. RT is big. Oh, Russian news. We can't hear Russian news in the United States. You know, the United States government would send you to a school if you joined Naval Intelligence in Maine and teach you Russian. Do you know the United States government had all the naval air bases stocked with Iranian recruits, teaching them how to fly airplanes and fix airplanes in the 1970s? They had a whole floor of barracks on the bases. It stunk like curry or something. They're cooking, they cooked in the room. So Affshin Rattansi on the new show is possibly AI, right? But there's something very curious I've discovered about his voice. Affshin Rattansi sounds exactly like a British actor who played Long John Silver, I think. Robert Newton. What does Affshin Rattansi say all the fucking time? What's he say? He says one word over and over and over. Surely. He says, surely. Yeah, but he's Murdoch. I mean, surely. He says that, right? You know, he says that, right? I'm not making this up. Okay, so if you look up this English noir film called The Hidden Room, Robert Newton plays a character who sounds exactly like, they took his AI voice off of this film. Affshin Rattansi could have always been an AI, for all we know. Hopefully, now,